Dear friends, when I moved here, after getting into Hamilton College, packing everything into a suitcase, getting my NCAA certification, going to the airport, flying all the way from South America, stopping in Atlanta, Washington D.C., Target, getting a car, and finally arriving to Clinton, New York, home of beautiful Hamilton College, I expected things to be different. After all, I have moved to a completely new, different country, but I never expected, should I say, the lack of thereof, environmental measures on campus and in the region in general. Where I come from, things like plastic bags, plastic silverware, and garbage cans are not only unheard of, but straight out rejected by people. When I saw the plastic silverware in McEwen, I was very surprised. Coming from a so-called third world country, I wondered, how can a much wealthier and educated country not take basic environmental measures? But let's rewind a bit. Where exactly do I come from? And how does my country compare to the US? The answer to that question is beautiful Santiago, Chile, the capital city and the biggest city of my home country, Chile. Chile is located in the western coast of South America. It is a land of mountains, beautiful landscapes, otherwise known as Argentina's skinnier neighbor. Population-wise, with 19 million inhabitants, it is about the same size as the state of New York. When it comes to education, Chile falls behind the US. The average years of education in the US are 14 versus 11 in Chile. The same thing happens with economics. The gross domestic product per capita in the US reaches $76,000, while in Chile it's just $30,000. While we may fall behind in both categories mentioned, when it comes to environmental issues, Chile takes the lead. The average carbon emissions per capita in the US are 14.9 tons, while in Chile it's just 4.3. In a much broader sense, in the US, the average ecological footprint is 8.04 hectares per person, while in Chile it's just 4.28. But what even is the ecological footprint, and why am I bringing it up now? The ecological footprint is the area in hectares required to satisfy the lifestyle of an individual or a community. Because of the ecological footprint's multidimensional nature, it is a great way to compare both countries' living styles at an environmental level. In a global sense, Chile places third in global sustainability, while the US places 52nd, accounting for 13.5% of the world's carbon emissions, in a list where Chile didn't even appear. So, why do we care so much? Why does such a small country with such a small impact go so out of its way to fight climate change, when our impact won't have a lasting effect on global climate change? Maybe it's because we've seen the effects of humans on nature firsthand. Droughts, wildfires, gigantic dumpsters in the desert filled with clothing that isn't even ours. The melting of glaciers at the tip of our country. But I like to think it's because we love our land and the curious and amazing creatures that live on it. I like to think it's because we see change as a spark, growing bigger and bigger the more people join us. So, my dear friends, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I got angry at you for turning a second shower on to get the water to come out warmer. I'm sorry if I talk too much about plastic utensils. I'm sorry if I complain too much. After all, this country has given me amazing things. An education I wouldn't have even dreamed of back home. Has given me amazing people who I get to call my friends. But that doesn't stop me from advocating for climate action, because this planet houses all of us, and it's everyone's responsibility, not just a small country in Latin America's, to take care of it. Dear friends, thank you for tolerating me and taking this message to your heart.